I guess select board representative for
representative. Thank you. That's what I was thinking.
Maybe accurate, but
yeah.
All right, you guys are all set.
Yeah, you're in the attendee.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It is August 12th, 7:02 p.m. We're going to start this meeting of the Traffic Safety Committee. My name is Bill Pierce, Chairman, and I'm just going to go around the room to make sure that we can hear everyone here. So when I mention your name, please just respond in the affirmative so we can make sure that we can hear everyone. Rachel.
Here.
Kate.
Here.
Chris.
Here.
And Scott Charpentier.
I'm present.
And our new select board representative, Jonathan Wright.
Present.
Thank you.
Kaylee, we have
Josh
Van Houten.
Yeah, I'll bring him in.
Yeah, thank you, Bill.
Yep. Hey, Josh. There he is. Okay. We have a really quick agenda. Scott, I noticed you have a new item here, posting speed limit signs on Fay Lane.
Yeah, Josh was working with the resident on that one. But Tom, unfortunately, Sergeant McDonald's not here. The PD would probably be helpful on this one. But Josh, you want to go over the Fay Lane resident?
Yeah, one of the residents, they had some complaints. People come down from 290. They take the left off of Church Street and they go through that neighborhood to cut through. It's a pretty good cut through to get to some of the other streets in the interior of that neighborhood. They say the people are driving pretty fast. They requested that we just put some speed limit signs, one as you enter Fay Lane from Church Street, and probably one in the other direction as well. In order to do that, we'd have to do some traffic counts and some other things like that. I know we recently talked about the speed limit in town and lowering it to 25 for all the residential areas. So currently the speed limit sits at 30 for residential areas. So I don't know if this is something that the committee wants to look into as far as doing traffic counts and possibly putting up new speed limit signs. There may be some other options that we can look at that we can do quicker if we were to do traffic counts and signs that may take a little while. I know that there's some places in town where the police have put up the signs that show how fast people are going, and we might be able to get one of those out there just to give people an idea of how fast they are going, because they might not realize they're doing 40 miles an hour through a residential area. And I think that's something that we could get up pretty quick. Also, we could post some, we could do a little bit more enforcement out there. Maybe if we do get the speed limit, it's not a speed limit sign, but the speed sign that shows how fast people are going. And maybe if we had a cop out there once in a while during a rush hour, it might do a lot to curb the speeding in the area.
And that speed limit feedback sign collects data as well, right? So we'd be able to see what the speeds are.
Yeah. Yes, it'll report what speeds you've seen down the roadway. I'd be surprised if speeding is really that big of a concern on Fay. It's such a short road. The roadway surface condition isn't freshly paved, so it doesn't really promote speeding. I think Sergeant McDonald would have a lot of input on, what he's seen out there. I believe it's the same resident who brought up the no parking suggestions on the other side of Fay Lane. So it may be just a perspective from one resident, but we're happy to let Tom, Sergeant McDonald know.
Hey Scott, we got stop signs at the end of Valentine, at the end of Fay on both, so traffic is coming to a complete stop before accelerating again.
Yep.
Well, maybe not so much from Church on Fay, because it probably there won't be a stop when you're coming that way. But okay,
nope, you're taking up a hard to actually more than a 90-degree turn there. So they should come to close to a complete stop. On Valentine, I don't believe it's stop controlled. It is not. So leaving Valentine onto Fay is not a stop controlled intersection.
But theoretically, a car is probably stopping to see
Yeah.
who's coming.
But if there was a stop sign, the car would be required to fully stop and may change how fast the car goes from Valentine to Fay if that's part of the problem.
Correct. And I'm not sure that intersection would meet the MUTCD warrant for a stop sign.
Yeah.
We can evaluate it. The select board has authority to approve stop signs throughout the town. They have in prior years they've approved stop signs that weren't warranted. The four-way at Summer and School certainly is an example of where a four-way stop sign was not warranted. But they have the authority to do it. So we're happy to review the MUTCD for that stop control and talk to Sergeant McDonald about whatever PD can do to kind of help give this committee some more information, and maybe the resident.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think if we could get that speed feedback sign out there, it's probably the first step in the process to see if, how fast our car's really going. Is it really worth, that type of speed study to get the signs up?
Yeah, I was going to suggest the same thing, that, let's gather some data first, right? So if the PD can use that data, gather that data, then, that'll give us a little bit better understanding of what the real issue is. What does everyone else think?
I agree, but I think it's a good idea to look into the stop sign issue too, because we did that at some point last year with some intersections, and I don't think that was on our list.
No.
In Valentine, so might be worth looking into that too.
Okay. So, Scott, can you draft something up, or Josh draft something up for Sergeant McDonald, and just let him know to at least get one of those speed signs out there, and let's see what the speeds that people are actually going are.
Okay. We do have that traffic safety website on our webpage on our website. They get through DPW, and it has prior sign requests as one of the topics. And I just drilled into it real quick. The MUTCD criterion for a stop sign warrant is the vehicular traffic volumes on the through street or highway exceed 600 vehicles per day. So the through street in this case would be Fay, and there's no way the end of Fay sees 6,000 vehicles. Another warrant would be
600 or 6,000.
6,000. He probably doesn't even see 60 going past Valentine to get to the Milton's property. It also could be warranted in the event that there's an obstruction of view, so you have to see it because you can't see without coming to a full stop. And then another one relevant to vehicle crashes, 5 or more within a 2-year period, which again I doubt that meets the warrant for this location.
When you're looking at the end of Valentine Road, oh no, that's the street sign. I thought it looked like there used to be a stop sign. But you're looking at the end of Valentine Road, and I don't know. You're definitely coming to a cross street. You know what I mean? Like I would think that intersection would have a stop sign.
We have a lot of intersections throughout Northgate. We discussed that at I think it was Thoreau and Madison
Right.
at one of our prior meetings, and it just doesn't meet the warrant. And again, the select board has authority to approve and enact stop controlled intersections without compliance with MUTCD, but those are the regulations we generally follow.
Did the other intersection end up getting through to the select board and going through that process, or I forget where that one landed?
No, we ended up determining the counts didn't meet it. I mean, I agree it's a rough intersection, a tough intersection, just because it's a humongous sea of pavement. It would really benefit from some revised curb lines for calming, because it's a lot of asphalt there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I think we even said at one point, maybe put a planting in the middle of it and make it a rotary.
Yep, exactly.
Right.
Something to make people just realize it's not a It's not a basketball court, it's an intersection.
Right. Okay,
Yeah, that intersection was to Longfellow and Emerson.
yep.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's
when
in
you
the Poets
first turn
area,
off of 135, right?
right?
Yeah. Yep. And Alcott kind of comes up on the other side there. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, I'll draft an email to Sergeant McDonald and see how quick we can get those speed signs out there.
please, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, before we go on to the other items, I do want to add in here, I saw the note, Josh, about the Pleasant and Lincoln, the HV, the heavy vehicle exclusion. So that's finally going through.
Yeah, that's been sent over to the DOT for review. We sent over a cover letter, a copy of the report from Weston and Sampson, and the minutes from the Traffic Safety Committee, and the most recent select board meeting where it was discussed.
Yep. Awesome. Okay. And what's I think their turnaround time is usually like 30 days, right? It's not too long.
Yeah, they generally push these things out relatively quickly. You know, within a month. The next step thereafter is to bring it to the select board for adoption of the local bylaw change, the local code change. Once the select board votes on that officially, and those minutes are accepted, we forward those minutes representing their vote to the state, and then DOT will authorize us to raise the signs, and then we'll finally get trucks off of those two roads, which will be a blessing.
And hopefully you don't find any gas lines in the way. Good. Okay. So let's see. Alternate solution for truck traffic at intersection of Barefoot and Whitney. This was the 5-ton exclusion that's on Whitney, right?
Correct. Just to bring our liaison John up to speed, there's an old heavy commercial vehicle exclusion, a truck exclusion on Whitney Street from Church. In our bylaws, it says Colburn, but it's actually Barefoot Road. So that's the truck exclusion, nothing over 5 tons between Barefoot and Whitney Street on Church. I mean, sorry, on Whitney Street to Church. So there's a weight restriction on the bridge, the bridge on Whitney Street that goes over the railroad tracks after Coolidge, before you get to Anza's and 432 Whitney Street. That bridge weight restriction prevents trucks from going in that direction. So a tractor trailer driving up Barefoot Road, he stops, he looks in front of himself, looks in front, across the intersection, he sees a sign that says, no left turn, weight restriction, truck exclusion. He can take a right, but the only 2 ways to get out of taking a right and not going over that bridge is to go up Maynard, Babcock, or Coolidge. None of those are roadways that I believe this committee wants tractor trailers traversing regularly. So we reached out to DOT. How do we deal with this issue since that bridge weight restriction has been enacted by the state? They said we can hood or cover the truck exclusion sign at the end of Barefoot, and therefore allow trucks to turn left. As long as we notify the police department that that truck exclusion is locally suspended for vehicles traveling in that direction. So trucks would then be allowed to take a left at Barefoot onto Whitney Street and head toward Church. I would recommend that we put a sign that indicates left, all trucks turn left, or something to that effect. So they know don't go over the bridge. DOT's perspective is it's more critical to safety that that bridge doesn't collapse with a vehicle on it due to a truck traffic than trucks going down Whitney Street toward Church.
So my only concern with this is, if you think about it, how many trucks are really coming off of 290, right, going up Barefoot to take a left onto Whitney? Because they would just go down to Church, the next exit.
Yeah, the majority of them visit their destination on barefoot and then exit in that same direction going back toward 290.
Or what I see every day in front of my house is they come up barefoot in order to get the right-hand turn to go to wherever their location is along that stretch where SA Farm is and the gas and all of, that industrial area.
And that's
right?
what we don't want.
I see that every day. I will tell you every day. I can show you the video from my ring cam.
Yep.
So they go over the bridge.
So they go over the bridge. I think the problem is that the sign for the bridge is after they make that right-hand turn. Right. And so, my question here is, do we need signs further down barefoot? Or, because once they're at the top of barefoot, there's nothing they can do. It's not like they're going to be able to turn around there. Right. So we need to what I'm thinking is we need to dissuade them before they even get on barefoot.
Bill, are they? Oh, I'm sorry. Is it local businesses that you're seeing that we can reach out to? I'm sure they don't want their truck drivers on a truck that could collapse on them, or on a bridge that could collapse on them.
The problem is it seems like they're independent.
Yeah, so they're mostly delivering to these facilities. It's not like they're shipping out of them, and like Bill said, they're not employed by them. They're delivering things.
Is that just to check for understanding, just to make sure I'm tracking? So is it concern the trucks on Solomon Pond Road going on a barefoot towards Whitney?
No, well, yeah, they're coming up Solomon Pond. So let's say they get off at 290, right? They come up Solomon Pond and then take that right onto barefoot.
Sure.
Go up to the top, right? And now they can't turn left because of the weight restriction, and they can't turn right because of the bridge restriction.
So now they're on Whitney and they can't turn right or left and they're trapped.
Right, and they're trapped. And the problem is like I said, the sign for the bridge restriction is after they make that right-hand turn. So they've already made the right-hand turn and they're already heading down Whitney. And there's nothing for them. Yes, they could, go down Babcock, go down Stone and come back around on Coolidge and go back around. But we don't want them doing that.
We don't want them doing
residential
that.
I can reach out to DOT. So DOT is the one who determines and install the weight restriction signs for the bridges. I can reach back out to them indicating that, yes, our traffic safety committee believes that it is viable to hood the signs so that trucks can take a left off of barefoot. Can DOT support an effort to put a weight restriction due to bridge at that same location? So when a tractor trailer pulls up, he sees a sign, bridge weight restriction to the right, all trucks left turn only, something to that effect.
Right.
And we need their approval because it's their restriction, not ours.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, once they do that once or twice and have to go all the way down Whitney, up Church, back down 290 to get back to their look, they'll do that once or twice and that'll be it.
Yep.
They won't do that anymore.
Yep. Dissuade through misery.
And the reason not to just, that's probably not, this is obviously, it's just, I know, but why not just a truck exclusion from Solomon Pond to barefoot?
Well, that's what I thought originally too, was, put a weight restriction on barefoot. Right.
And just going that way, but you allow trucks to go the other way I imagine they're like, does any of the business on barefoot have trucks that on that weight restriction that would need to get to Solomon Pond Road to get to 290?
They're exempt. Any truck is exempt from accessing the roadway when they're doing business on the road.
Yeah, if you have business on the road, you're exempt from a weight restriction.
Okay, yeah, that makes so then. Yeah, so why not have the truck exclusion just going from Solomon Pond to barefoot and take care of the problem?
Because that will take us about a year to between the consulting, the traffic study, getting all the numbers together. And, in the meantime, the trucks are still going over this bridge.
One of the challenges with a truck exclusion, either on that short segment of Solomon Pond or on barefoot, is the alternate routes. All heavy commercial vehicle exclusions have to have viable alternate routes.
Yeah.
If they go through a neighboring community, you need to get that neighboring community's written approval. I have never, ever seen a neighboring community.
Sure.
Yes, put your
and
trucks
even
on my
Hudson Street
roads.
has that bridge, right?
Right. Yeah. So that we don't want to
That's a
send
really
them that
tough
way.
section of town for trucks.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's the solution. I'm with you.
But we'll talk to DOT. Maybe like you said, Bill. Some clear indications, and then a few miserable drives down Whitney Street. They won't make that mistake again.
Yeah. What does everyone else think?
I think that's our best viable option, honestly.
I know it's so tough because Whitney Street, having run down it myself, it is narrow
Yep.
where there's no sidewalk.
And I'm
in
always
this town, we can't have a truck exclusion on every road that's narrow because we wouldn't have trucks in the entire town.
yeah.
So
And I'm always scared of that corner. What is that? I can't think of the name of the street now. You come down the hill from
Lancaster.
Barefoot, and it makes that sharp left, and there's a street right to the right there. And there's no sidewalk there.
Lancaster Road.
Lancaster. Yep.
Yeah, Lancaster, Washburn come out there.
Yeah.
It's like
Washburn. Yeah.
Lancaster.
That one's really bad. But okay. So Scott, yeah, if you can write that letter up for us, please. Do you need us to
Yeah, I don't know.
vote or anything?
I think after DOT said that's okay, then probably we bring it to the committee for a formal vote, so we can have some documentation that we're hooding that direction, in concurrence with Mass DOT.
Good. Okay, on to the next thing. Traffic pattern and controls at an intersection of Church Street and Pierce Street. It's so funny because I literally came out of CVS today and followed somebody out of the drive-through. They made that left-hand turn onto CVS, got confused, and made the left-hand turn onto Church Street from Pierce. So I know, I understand go ahead.
I just want to point out real quick before we get too far into this that Sergeant McDonald had really wanted to talk about this. So I think
Yes.
it might be a good idea to table it to next month. I know last time when we brought it up 2 months ago, he was like, I really wish I had been able to come to the meeting because he had a lot of input. So.
Yeah, no, and in his email, he said, he had never given anyone a ticket who had made that left-hand turn, who didn't do it intentionally, like knowing that they were going down Pierce Street to take that left-hand turn. And I understand that. And if somebody's going to, break the rules, somebody's going to break the rules. But, my feeling is at least we need to give people the benefit of the doubt for the ones that aren't, right? But we can definitely table that for next month's meeting. Absolutely. That's all I think we have. I don't think there's anyone in the attendees list. Is there anything else anyone wanted to bring up?
Josh, you want to talk a little bit about our Northgate friend?
Yeah, we did have a resident from Northgate send an email concerning the truck traffic on Northgate and the possibility of putting in a heavy commercial vehicle exclusion there. So we didn't add it to the agenda. We were looking into alternate routes to see if it would be even viable to look into. I'm not sure if it is. We can't really establish any routes that would keep the traffic in town without pushing this onto other streets where we've had similar requests. So,
well, would them going down Route 20 be a viable alternative?
Well, is this recent though? Because Davis Street has been getting paved. So if they have seen an increase in truck traffic and that brought up the email, that could be why.
Doesn't Davis Street have a truck exclusion?
No.
No, because the end of it is in just the little section does.
Oh, okay.
But Davis Street, the end of it goes into Westboro, so we can't have a truck exclusion there.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Davis does, and Kate's correct. People have brought up the suggestion on truck exclusions on Davis. We've actually done counts years ago, implementing before we implemented or even consider implementing a truck exclusion, I think it's worthwhile that, staff reviews alternate routes and sees if it's even a viable approach, because the process, as Bill was, leading toward earlier, it takes a while to get the counts. And then after that, it's another $10,000 for $8,000 to $10,000 for a study. If we can look at it and say there's no viable alternative route that would be accepted, it's probably not in the best interest of our funds, limited funds, to spend $10,000 on a study that's not going to bear any fruit.
Yep.
So
I think we
Josh and I'll look
sort
at
of
it a little deeper.
I think we sort of expected this too after the recent truck exclusions.
Right.
Yeah, that was actually
know.
what prompted the email. The resident said, "Hey, I saw these great signs up on Summer Street. How do I get those on Northgate?" So,
Yeah. Yep, that was to be expected. And Jonathan, we had a conversation a while back, and Scott was kind enough to make the statement that we can probably afford to do maybe one of these a year, right? So we really have to prioritize, unless the town wants to come up with additional funds. We really need to prioritize which ones we're going to do.
Like Pleasant and Lincoln, I mean, that is fantastic that that's going in with the schools, and trucks just absolutely don't need to be on those roads. That makes sense.
Yep.
But
Okay. Anything else? So I think our next meeting is the 9th of September. Is that right?
sounds right.
Yeah.
Is there a pipeline, or is this kind of just take?
Sorry, Jonathan, you're sort of breaking up.
I think that was Chris.
Is that Chris?
My computer did go crazy for a second, but I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. I think Jonathan's frozen.
Yeah, I believe so. Do we want to talk about pushing this back a little bit, or do you want to wait till we have a Brian and the sergeant?
We can chat about it now, and then I can always scheduling is one of the few things we can send emails out about. So given that Scott's and my schedule has sort of freed up a little bit now that the Blake Street thing is coming to an end, we wanted to ask if anyone wanted to go back to either 6 or 6:30.
Yes.
Yes, 7 o'clock is too late.
Kind of. I'm an early bird.
Well, especially if we start getting more and more items, right? I mean, we've had a couple short meetings, but
yeah, 6 and 6:30 is a little tough for me with the little ones in bedtime. But I can try to make it work if that's what's better for everyone else.
Okay. Jonathan, I think you're.
I think I'm back. I froze. I'm on my phone now. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I think you're still on your computer
We
too.
can still see you too.
I don't think so. Do you hear a double echo? Because I should have closed that. Do you hearing an echo or no?
No, we don't hear it
No.
anymore.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. It's tricky for me on Zoom, my work computer. Yeah, I'm interested in just learning more about the committee. This was helpful, and I'm sure there's an agenda of more things to look at. So it'll take a couple of meetings for me to get sort of familiar with sort of what the rhythm is. And I always prefer anything earlier rather than later.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
can do whatever works for you guys. I'm very flexible.
Yeah. Okay.
See you at 6:30, Chris.
All right.
Maybe we could put it, back to 6:30.
So
You might hear screaming in the background.
So let's do this. I don't want to make it. The next meeting we'll keep at 7, right? Because we still have Bryce and Sergeant McDonald to check in with. So, but the plan is maybe in the October meeting we'll look to do 6:30, unless somebody has a real issue with it. If that works for everyone.
Good.
Awesome. If there's nothing else, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Do we do the minutes for?
Oh, sorry, yes, minutes.
June.
Thank you.
So did everyone have a chance to look at the June 10th minutes? Any amendment requests or changes?
I
Okay,
was not at that meeting, so I'm going to abstain.
okay. So do I have a motion to approve the June 10th, 2025 meeting minutes?
A motion to
moved.
approve.
Okay,
I'll second it.
thank you. Motion made by Kate, seconded by Chris. Roll call vote. Chris,
Yes.
Kate,
I,
Rachel,
I'll abstain.
and I'm an I. Okay. And I think that's everything on our list. So do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, so moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Wondering if no one wanted to leave yet. Roll call vote. Rachel,
Aye.
Kate,
I.
Chris,
Aye.
and I'm an I. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
so
you all.
much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.